Well, well, well. How's this for a rant? You may be in for it now, my little dumplings. Forgive me for having my own point of view about things that matter in this at times greasy world of today. On a daily basis, sometimes many times a day, I'd have to say, I'm confronted with the horrendous situation of listening to and reading comments, tiresome drivel, and opinion pieces by the mentally challenged in politics, journalism, and academia. There's a veritable steaming miasma of contaminated viewpoints, a plethoric flood of flawed, thoughtless ideas and disturbed thinking being barfed out of the mouths of the hopeless, the hapless, and the half-witted in our midst. If you're outraged by my honest assessments, then you're probably one of those dopey buffoons, or a fanboy or a fangirl of the far left brigade. Is your blood boiling yet? Are the veins in your neck bulging? Okay, enough already, I hear you bleating. Let's move on, pivot, if you will, to that controversial international figure everyone talks about and has a view on. Action Man himself, he who runs his mouth a little too frequently. But, yes, but he gets stuff done, whether you like it or not. The trouble is, it does appear sometimes that he doesn't finish what he starts. We are left wondering. Let me ask you, why is a ceasefire and a potential peace deal between the US and Iran something to celebrate? I have always thought, since those initial days when the Iranian regime started killing, slaughtering their own people in the streets of Tehran and other cities, that any deals made with these barbarous thugs, allowing them to remain in power, would simply encourage them to do more of the same. Why would they stop? Donald has potentially managed to reopen the Straits of Hormuz. But where does that leave the Iranian people, I ask you? Is this an abandonment of the innocent majority who placed such hopes in the US to expel the evil reigning regime? You and I know full well that the hangings of innocent young people and the mass killings behind the scenes will continue until these backward Islamic cavemen are pushed overtly and completely out of power. This is not a time for half measures. At the very least, the people of Iran need to be armed. There must be boots on the ground, and those boots should ideally be those of the general population, not an invading force. You, the left-leaning loonies of the world, railed against Trump for waging war on Iran. You loudly and proudly supported the Iranian regime because you hate Trump so much that your rattled brains could not conceive of any value in deposing and disposing of the Khomeinis and their ilk to benefit and free the Iranian people. Whatever Trump does, or whatever Trump chose to do, would see you adopt the opposite position. Therein lies your hypocrisy and your stupidity. I look at you in utter frustration and with more than a modicum of disgust. Your hatred, born of years of lefty indoctrination, has blinded you. How about sticking up for those who need the help of all of us? The evil regime certainly doesn't and would happily kill you if they had half a chance. You're simply infidels after all. For goodness sake, please sit down and dispassionately examine and take on board what you see unfolding before you in the world. Stand up and speak up against these violent regimes, the killing of innocent civilians, the deliberate campaigns of terror. Surely you must care. Isn't it time you told the world that you're on the right side of history and are essentially a person your descendants would be proud of, not one of the army of blatant hypocrites wallowing in the shame and guilt of having remained silent while your fellow beings were being gunned down, not only in Iran, but also in other countries like Nigeria, Sudan, Yemen, and other countries. You ought to be thoroughly ashamed, but I know you're not, as the thick fog of misguidedness and an inability to distinguish between what's real and what is fabricated swirls darkly about you. You are the much duped supporters of what is inherently evil and the willing promoters of terrorism. Sit down, have a cup of tea, and think about what you're doing. You don't have to overtly display your ignorance like so many Hollywood types do. Open your eyes and your minds to the truth and start being honest about what you see around you. It truly is time for you to wake up.